So today we are going to deal with crisis in the mines. We have seen different types of crisis in the mines, like your coal mine fire, coal mine explosion, coal mine inundation, roof fall, side fall. There are so many type of hazards associated with mining. So how to deal with those hazards in the mines, which is called your crisis management, which is called your crisis management. So this, if you see the overview of mining in India, different type of minerals are mined in India. There are 89 type of minerals in total mined in India, which contribute 2.5 to 2.8% of GDP of India. So there are many number of mines, both metal and non-metal mines are there. Total number of mines is 9,600 plus coal mines. 605 coal mines are there. Oil and gas mines, 88 number of oil and gas mines are there. And in these mines, more than a million people, more than 1 million people are employed in the mines itself. That is why next to agriculture, mining is the second highest employer of the country. In the below ground employment, in the underground mines, 1.8 lakh people are employed. In the underground mines, 1.8 lakh people are employed. And not only the permanent employees work in the mines, there are some contractual employment is also given in the mines. About 98.6 thousand people are working on contractual basis in the mines. So that is why the mines are the greatest employer of the people. People get employment in the mines. Large number of people are employed in the mines. So because of many people working in the mines, and the mining is associated with different type of disasters, so incidents took place in the mines, and sometimes disasters in the form of coal mine fire, explosion, and uh, inundation takes place in the mines. These are called your incidents in the mines. So any incident originating out of the following events are termed as disasters, where 10 or more people are either lost their life or threatened in the affected mine. So the incident which happens in the mines is called a disaster if more than 10 people's lives are lost or their life is threatened because of the disaster. So what are the different type of disasters which take place in the mines? Like your outbreak of fire in an underground coal mine or surface coal mine, outbreak of fire in an underground mine, whether it is a coal mine or metal mine, surface coal mine or metal mine, there is chance of outbreak of fire. Sudden influx of noxious gases in the underground working. You know that in the underground mines, different type of gases are emitted, like different type of noxious gases are emitted in the underground working. So if there is a sudden influx of noxious gases in the underground workings, so it can also cause the death of the people. And we have also discussed about the inrush of water, inundation, inrush of water on unconsolidated strata in the mines. Not only the water will flow, but the unconsolidated strata also sometimes they flow, so which may cause a great disaster in the mines. And there are also premature and uncontrolled collapse of any part of workings below ground or in open cast mines. Premature collapse of the pillars, underground pillars, or collapse or the premature failure of benches in the open cast mines. That can also cause a disaster in the mining area. Sometimes also subsidence takes place due to a fire in an underground working or collapse of underground working under a village or township. So because of the subsidence, the ground is subsided. You know the subsidence phenomena. So in the underground coal mines, you take out the coal from the underground and the void created in the underground. So if this void is not filled up by sand, the ground will be subsided, which is called your subsidence. That is why in coal mines you should go for filling the underground voids, by sand. For every ton of coal mine, you should supply 1 ton of sand so that the void created in the underground mines is filled up and there will be no subsidence. But if subsidence is going to take place, then there may be many type of problems in the mines. Subsidence due to a fire in underground workings is also a hazard. And there are some accidental and unintentional detonation of the explosives. You are using the explosives for the blasting purpose, but sometimes there may be accidental explosion. There may be accidental explosion or unintentional detonation of the explosives. Accidental or unintentional detonation of explosives may take place, which can take the lives, because of the accidental explosion. And there are some uncontrolled flow of material. There are some uncontrolled flow of material or fluid from mineral stack, overburden dumps, or tailing ponds. Uncontrolled flow of material or fluid from the mineral stockpile, from the overburden dumps, or from the tailing ponds, which can also be a great problem for the nearby people working in the mines. And sometimes people are caught between extremities. People are trapped or caught between extremities and disasters take place in the mines. So all these type of disasters which take place in the mines are called your accident. So some people may die. So the number of fatality rate per 1,000 persons. Suppose 1,000 people are working in the mines. So fatality rate is calculated. How many people are died? Fatality rate for 1,000 person employed is calculated to know the accident scenario in the mines. So over the years in the coal mines, if you take the statistics in the coal mines from 1931 to 1940, the fatality rate was 1.33. And now in 2011 to 2016, it is calculated that the fatality rate in the mines is 0.2. So it has decreased. The fatality rate has decreased compared to the olden days, compared to the primitive day of mining. In the year 1940, the fatality rate was 1.33, and now in the year 2016, the fatality rate has come down to 0.2. So there is a great decrease in the fatality rate because of introduction of modern technology in the mines. So in earlier days, there are many explosions, there are many inundation hazards in the mines, roof falls, side falls, fires in the mines. But nowadays, these type of problems are not found in the mines. It is controlled because of the development, because of the modern technology adoption in the mines. The fatality rate has decreased from 1.33 to 0.2. And if you take the statistics of the non-coal mines, during the year 1911 to 1920, the fatality rate was 0.73. And now, in the year 2016, it is calculated the fatality rate is 0.25 only in the non-coal mines. So compared to the coal mine, the rate of decrease in the non-coal mines is less compared to the coal mines. In the coal mines, earlier days, there were many hazards and many accidents. Now it has come down to 0.2. So if you take the statistics from the Director General Mines, number of fatalities per year annual. In coal mines, number of fatalities per year is 70 to 100. But in the non-coal mines, the number of fatalities is 50 to 70. These are the statistics which tell you about the hazards associated with mining. So mining is always considered as a hazardous job, and because of the hazards, many people have lost their life in the mines. They work and they lost their lives in the mines. So this is the statistics which tells about you the hazards associated with mining. So if you take the analysis of disasters and the major accidents in the mines, in coal mines, during the year 1901 to 2016, over a period of more than 100 years. This is the data taken from the coal mines during the years 1901 to 2016. More than 115 years data is compiled here, starting from 1901 to 2016, the major accidents, disasters which took place in the coal mines. So the disasters we have categorized into explosion hazard, inundation hazard, roof fall hazard, side fall hazard, fire and gas hazard, and all taken together. So that is why we have discussed explosion here coal methane explosion and coal dust explosion has caused 38 number of accidents in the mines. During the year 19 to 2016, there were 38 number of explosions. And next to that, the inundation, which has occurred in the mines. 33 number of mines have seen inundation in their mines. 33 number of accidents has taken place due to inundation in the during the 1901 to 2016. And besides your explosion, fire and gas, this is number 3. Means here 8 number of fire has taken place in the coal mines during the year 1901 to 2016. And there are many number of roof falls. This is a regular phenomenon in the mines. Roof fall accident. Number of roof fall accidents taken place in the coal mines is 137, very high number, because it is a regular online and inundation and fire. Roof fall is a regular which has taken place in the mines. 137 accidents. 137 accidents has taken place in the coal mines during the year 1901 to 2006. Only the roof fall accident has taken place. 137 mines are affected because of the roof fall accident in the mines. And there are some side fall accidents are also taken place in the mines. Side fall accidents, 24 number of side has taken place 1 to 2015. And total number of accidents which has taken place in the mines combined together due to explosion, due to inundation, due to fall-up, due to side fall, due to fire, 240 number of accidents. 240 number of accidents has taken place in the coal mines during the year 1900. And actually people lost their life. Number of people lost their life. Number of people lost their life during the these disasters. During these disasters, explosion, inundation, roof fall, side fall, fire, number of people died. Number reported. Number of fatalities due to explosion is 1270. Means during these 100 years, 1272 people have lost their life because of the explosion in the mines, and 829 people have lost their life because of inundation in the mines. 844 people have lost their life in the mines because of roof fall. 170 100 because of the side fall in the 125 people have lost their life because of fire in the mines. So total 3,240 people have lost their life because of the accident in coal mines during this 100 years. 3,240 people have lost because of these accidents in the mine. So if you see the so high in excess of the core, 5.26% people have lost because of exposure, and 25.59, 26%, 26% people have lost their life because of inundation in the mines, and 26.05% people have lost their life because of roof fall. 5.25% of people have their life because of side fall, and 3.86% of people have lost their life because of the fire in the coal mine. That is why I'm telling you again and again that the hazard associated with mining should be clearly understood, and appropriate actions should be taken so that these type of explosions, these type of disasters do not occur in your mind. So that's why we have discussed a great detail about explosion, about inundation, about side fall, about roof fall. These accidents has taken many lives in the mines. That is why we are discussing this subject in greater detail. So this is the graphical representation. This is the graphical representation of disasters and which has taken place. Number of disasters is this representation. So the past disasters, hazards are exposed, and second category of hazards associated with mining is inundation, flooding of the mine, in loss of water. Third category of accidents which has taken place in the mines is your roof fall and side, and there are any other type of accidents which has in the this is the total all causes. So this is the cause of the disaster in the mine: explosion and fire, inundation, all of side and roof. Other causes of explosion like your explosives, blasting, and electrical hazards associated with mining. So on number of disasters here, the number of disasters given. Okay, so this is the graphical report. Then there is a that is why this subject that is why this subject is very important for the mining engineer. This subject is very important. So it is a matter of concern for mining. So because there are many accidents taking place in the mines, so it is a great concern for the mining industry. So these disasters in the mines are repeating. These disasters in mines are repeating on an average once in 2 years. So causes of different causes of major accidents leading to disaster. In last 16 years, disaster and major accidents due to slope failure and dam failure in open cast mines has increased. Because nowadays most of the mines are mined by open cast mining method. So there is slope failure, there is dump failure. So number of accidents in the open cast mines has increased because of the slope failure and the dump failure existing. Therefore, there is a rescue and recovery department is there to recover the existing rescue and recovery protocol are in order to deal with newer causes. New causes are coming up. That's why the rescue and recovery work, which is carried out in the mines, is facing challenge in these fronts. So there is a new trend in the disaster. New trend in the disaster. New trend of disaster and major accidents due to fence failure in the open cast mines because of dump failure in the open cast mines. Because of the new trend and major accidents due to fence and dump failure. On bench in the open cast mines, bench and dump is taken. And if you see the bench and dump failure accidents, number of it is 13%, 38 number of people died because of dump accidents in non-coal mines, 10, fatalities 59, coal and non-coal taken together. This is cause of accident in the open game. So let's analysis of rest operation. Earlier, in olden days, when there were many number which has taken place in the mines, so have lost their life in the mines. So if you analysis of previous, so there is a rescue station is there. There is a rescue station in the mining premises where if any accident has taken place in the mine, the rescue team will go and give to do this analysis of previous operations undertaken in the mines during the disaster. If any disaster is going to take place, so the rescue operations are to be carried out. So the mine management has failed to put emergency plan in operation. So whenever there is a disaster in the mines in the previous years, there were no emergency plan to deal with the disaster. So the mine management failed to put emergency plan. Action plan was not prepared properly. That is why disaster has taken place in the mines. The mines and they have not promptly rescued the disaster. They promptly leading to delayed response. That is why their response was very delayed and people have died. So response time was the key in the rescue. If you are going to conduct the rescue operation, so response time is very important. If any accident has taken place in your mine, immediately the rescue people should reach to the spot and they recover the people who are trapped inside the mine. If their response, so the people will lose. So this has taken place because of lack of training. The rescue team are not properly trained and there were no experienced personnel, trained, experienced people in the rescue station. That is why many people have lost their lives in the mines during, and there were absence of desired capacity at proper places. So if any disaster has taken place in the mines, then the rescue team should visit the mine by taking some equipments like your self-contained breathing apparatus, gas mask, and other equipments. These they should be readily available so that the rescue team can proceed to the mines to give assistance to who are trapped inside. So if these equipment, self-contained breathing apparatuses are not available, so rescue team cannot go inside the mine. And in earlier days, there was problem of communication. If any accident has taken place in the mine, there was no communication system was very poor, so people could not communicate or send the message that accident has taken place inside the mine. Communication system and database of relevant information was not adequate. That is why people have lost their lives in the mines. And discipline and orders were swept away by sympathy and emotion, leading to chaos and disorder. So there were absence of discipline and orders are not properly followed. That is why the accidents has taken many lives in the mines. So what is the immediate response? What should we do if any accident has taken place in the mine? Suppose there is a fire in the mine, there is an inundation in the mines, then what should be the immediate response? What is the philosophy behind immediate response? So your response, your philosophy should be to preserve the life of the people. You should not allow anybody to die. You should not allow anybody to be accident. So you preserve the human life, minimize potential harm to the person. And if the people are trapped inside the mine, your aim should be to take them out to the surface without harming them. And your aim should be to prevent deterioration of the conditions. The mining conditions should not be deteriorated because of the accident. You should prevent deterioration of the conditions and you should promote recovery. You should promote recovery. This is the philosophy behind immediate response. If any accident has taken place in the mines, immediately you should respond, and these are the aims of your recovery work. So, the after the accident has taken, first hour is very important hour. Suppose fire has taken place. Suppose coal mine fire explosion taken place in the or inundation has taken place in the mines. Okay, should be your immediately you should do. So the first hour of response is very important. So if any accident has taken immediately, what you should do? The first hour within 1 hour after the accident has taken place in the mine and the information is given to the rescue team and the mines manager. So what should it be? The identity tower you should identify and assess the location where the accident has taken place, and extent of the disaster which has taken place, what is the consequence, what is the cause of the accident, what is the effects of disaster. These things should be analyzed in the very first hour. This includes identifying possible places where the survivors are trapped, how many people are trapped inside the mine, in which place they are trapped, escape routes, escape with levels of risk. So if some people are trapped inside the mine, in which route they should be escaped. So escape, whether it is there or not, and what is the risk of this escape route, and what place where these people can take refuge or take what is the refugee chamber in the vicinity of the underground working area. Then status of ventilation, whether the ventilation current is there or not, whether the people are getting oxygen or not, status of ventilation, and possible corrective action. What corrective action can be taken? And after that, you have to identify and assess the inputs required to fight the situation. So after identifying and the inputs required, what are the things you need, what are the equipments you need to fight the situation, and what action for mobilization of resources, what action you should take for mobilization of the, then uh, after arrived in your mind, then rescue operation should be started. Then there should be effective communication system for establish contact with rescue services, technical experts, administrative machinery, and, and there should be effective communication system for establishing the contact between the rescue service and technical experts and additionally, and so the tele system should be activated. Then after that, you will carry out and the recovery work. Rescue and recovery work is to be carried out after identification and analysis and call the rescue team. So what is rescue and recovery? How it is practiced in Indian mines? In India, how the rescue and recovery work is carried out. You know that there is a rule is there. In government, there is a rule is there which is called your mines rescue rules. Mines rescue rules. So there is a rule which is called your mines rescue rules 1980. This rule was framed in the year 1984, which is called your mines rescue rules. So as per this rule, it is applicable to underground mines only. The Mines Rescue Rules 1984 is applicable to underground mines only, and it includes protocols for dealing with inhospitable atmospheres in an underground. If any accident has taken place in the underground mines, so there is a set of protocols are there to deal with the hazards associated with underground and in this all the work. As per this rule, as per the Mines and Rescue Rules 1984, so as per this rule, the manager should have a rescue station. A group of mines should have a rescue station where rescue trained people are available. There should be a rescue room, and such rescue rooms and rescue stations shall have permanent rescue trained people should be there, along with surplus self-contained breathing apparatus. So these rescue stations should have these self-contained breathing apparatus, so that in case of any accident in the mines, underground mines, these rescue trained people should immediately go along with their self-contained breathing apparatus to rescue the worker trapped inside the mine. So as per this rescue and recovery practices in the underground mines, mine managements are required to train interested young workers in rescue practice. As per this mines rescue rules and 1984, the people who are working in the mines, young workers working in the mines, if they are interested, they should be trained for rescue practices. So the initial and refresher training of rescue trained workers has to focus on rescue operation in hazardous mine atmosphere. So how to carry out the rescue operation in the hazardous mine atmosphere in the underground mine. So these young people who are interested should be trained. They should be given initial training and refresher training of rescue work to be carried out in the mine. So a mine management may seek assistance or additional assistance, as the case may be, from the nearest rescue room or rescue station. And in such an event, all possible assistance shall be promptly rendered by the rescue room or rescue station, and the owner of the mine shall pay to the owner of the rescue station or rescue room, rendering such assistance the full cost of rescue. So the rescue stations should get their dues from the mines after they carry out their work. So this mines rescue practice in India, mines rescue practices in India, if you see, so mines rescue rules 1984 was framed according to the Mines Act 1952. Mines Rescue Rules 1984 was framed in pursuance of provisions contained in subsections R, S, SA, SB, T, U, and V of the Section 58 of the Mines Act 1952. So according to this Mines Rescue Rule, you should prepare and implementation of emergency plan. You should have a emergency plan. You should prepare a emergency plan, and you should implement the emergency plan by the mines management of every underground mines in the country was made mandatory through amendments in Coal Mines Regulation 1957 and Metalliferous Mines Regulation 1961 in the year 1980. So, according to this rule, mines rescue rule, you should prepare the emergency plan, and you should implement the emergency plan in case of an accident in the mine. So this emergency response, how you should respond in the case of any disaster, any hazard in the mine. So you should respond. So duties and responsibilities of each mine official and key personnel is explicitly defined in the emergency plan in order to avoid extraordinary, contradictory orders and confusion at the time of emergency. So this is emergency plan and rehearsal, mock rehearsal. You have to control. So these are the things you have to carry out, and the effectiveness. The previous one, let us see. So here emergency response philosophy. So the uh, mock rehearsal means even if there is no accident has taken place in the mines, the rescue train they carry out mock rehearsal. So this mock rehearsal is to be undertaken regular for assessing the efficacy of the plan, the emergency plan which you have prepared, whether it is functioning or not. For that purpose, you have to carry out the mock rehearsals regularly in your mind. And this mock rehearsal supplemented if needed, if need arises, these emergency plans are to be prepared. So this emergency plan is put in operation by the senior most official present in the mine, the mine's manager at the time of emergency. So there should be a control room which is set up on the surface of the mine. A control room should be there at the surface of the mine. Control room is placed under the charge of an experienced and pre-decided mine official. So this control room in charge is fully aware of the duties and responsibilities attached with operations of the control room. So this is called your emergency response. According to the emergency plan, you have to respond if any hazard has taken place in your mines, if any disaster has taken place in your mines. So what is the effectiveness? What is the effectiveness of the mine control room? There is a control room in the mines. And what is the effectiveness of the mine control room? So information contained and flow in and out of control room should be well defined. Event log keeping. There should be a logbook where all events are recorded. Availability of competent monitoring and interpreting personnel should be available in the control room. So competent monitoring people should be there. Competent persons should be there to interpret the data. Then verification of missing persons. If anybody is missing in the mines, it should be verified by the control room. Location of the person, in which location the people are trapped. Location of the persons in the underground mine. Monitoring of the ventilation system. Monitoring of the ventilation system in the mine, so that people who are trapped inside the mine, they should get oxygen, otherwise they will lose their life. Then there should be emergency communication system from the control room to know the happenings in the mines. Availability of emergency plans and mine plans, documented action plan should be available in the control room. Use of duty cards, which person will do what duty at what time. Use of duty cards should be available in the control room. Hazards identification, what are the different type of hazards are there in the mines, how to identify them, and that is hazard identification and hazard risk assessment should be carried out by the mine control room. And also the gas monitoring, methane gas monitoring, carbon monoxide gas monitoring, carbon dioxide gas monitoring facility should be there in the control room. So effectiveness of your control room. So in case, so next class we'll discuss about the self-escape and facility and strategy. So day after tomorrow, we'll discuss about this self-escape facility and strategy. So today we have discussed about the rescue and recovery work in the underground mines as per the Mine Rescue Rules 1984. What are the protocols? What are the procedures to be followed in case of an accident in the mines? Today we have discussed. So this is all about today's class. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.